Hey, this is BlindFox, so welcome at my ration review. Please support the channel, please subscribe, and please go and donate on patreon.com. So we are still doing the Ukrainian Armed Forces ration, or military ration, or army ration one. I think this is military. This is a full day meal. So I got this from Russian Combat Ration, so go and check him out on eBay. So this is lunch. Now each meal comes in a little bag, and you have to cut this open. Okay, let's do lunch. These are 3 packets of sugar. This is quite a lot of sugar. I know if this is sort of an energy thing, but they could have provided something else with a lot of sugar in this. 3 packets is a bit much, but maybe it's a cultural thing, I don't know. So we're going to have the tea. We have got 2 packets of biscuits or crackers. Here is a spoon. These are quite flimsy spoons. The wet wipe, which we are going to check out, and a very flimsy little serviette. And we've got our stewed beef thing, or beef in jelly, or they say something in jelly. I'm not sure what this is, but I think this is stewed beef. So let's see how it looks. This has got these ring pulls, which is so nice, because you don't need any opener. This looks like big slice of meat. This is sort of a whole little block of meat. We'll eat a bit of this cold, and I'll heat some of this up. It tastes quite salty. So we're going to make the tea, do the meat, and I will be back. Alright, so let's check this out. So I've sort of all the fat, this is all the fat that's in there. These white stuff. There's a lot of fat in here. I just sort of separated it out. This is the cold meat. Now when it's cold, it's quite difficult to get through with this little flimsy spoon. It's very gelatinous, a bit salty. Tastes a lot like just salted meat. Slight gelatinous. Let's see it on the crackers. The saltiness of the meat does improve the crackers a bit. This crackers doesn't really have a taste. They are very thick, almost as like the Polish ones, but not as nice. The fat, I'm not going to taste it, but there is a lot of fat, and it separates out easily when the whole thing is cold. So you can actually use this fat if you want to fry something in it. Now let's check out the hot ones. You can see there was a sauce in this. When this is hot, it's much easier to get through. So let's taste this hot. It is nice hot, so let's try a bit with the biscuits. It's nice, it's crunchy, it's goes also well with the biscuits. It's got a slightly different taste than the cold meat. So let's soak a biscuit in this broth a bit. The broth improves the biscuits a bit. The biscuit gives a nice crunch to the broth. So the meat overall, a bit fatty when the fat melts in, but when it's cold, you can basically separate out all the fat, or most, or a big chunk of the fat. So if you don't want to eat that lot of fat, you can keep it separate. You can also separate this out. Let's say if you want to fry something in it. So you've got you can melt this everything and let the fat soak into the meat. You've got the nice little broth. with the meat. Bit salty, but it just tastes like salted meat in broth. Now this is just stewed meat. Not really much flavor in this, but there is the thing about these rations is it's about 325 grams of food. So although this is not a lot of flavor in the food, there is a lot of food which you can heat up, which would be nice in colder weather. Alright, the tea has steeped a bit now. And not just extraordinarily strong tea. This must still likely steep a bit. So let's check out the wet nap or wet wipe. There's not really a tear there, just a slight indentation. So let's see if we can open it. Not a big wet nap. It is nice and wet. Let's see if we can. This one side it doesn't stretch. This side you can actually stretch it a bit. Then you've got a little longer one, a bit more thinner, but it's enough to clean your hands, your face, and it doesn't have a very strong smell. It's a soft one, so it's a nice wet wipe. So that was lunch. As I said, a bit of a boring meal, but at least there's a lot of food if you want to heat up everything. It's a lot of food. The fat in this will give you energy. Or you can, if you don't want all the fat, you can separate it out when it's cold and then heat it up. Or just heat everything up. And this go well with the biscuits. You can soak the biscuits in the gravy. Or the broth, whatever you call it. And you can eat the meat with the biscuits as well. You can even try a bit of fat on the biscuits. Let's try a bit of fat on the biscuits. I rarely eat fat, but this is hard fat, but you can sort of eat it with the biscuits. And if you heat up everything, as I said, you can put the biscuits in the broth to give you some texture and to soak it up a bit. So that was the lunch. The tea is still a bit bland to me, but it's not a bad one. So nice. So that was lunch. So I got this from Russian Combat Rations, so go and check it out on eBay. And thanks for watching. Please support the channel, please subscribe, please go and donate on patreon.com, and see you at my next ration review.